Hey guys, it's Waldo again. We got a very special guest on this episode. We got Eric from Evil Gerbil, also formerly Berserkers. He's got a new team, the Renegades, and everything like that. Definitely remember to subscribe, rate, and review for this episode. We got two special sponsors for this podcast. We have Dizana Sports, makers of the new SF joggers. Also, they do have the new Grind Air gloves. So definitely go to dizanasports.com and use code OVERSHOT for 10% off. And then our new sponsor for this episode, it's actually Eric's company, Evil Gerbil Paintball.com, EvilGerbilPB.com. And you can definitely check it out for the sickest headgear in the game. I have multiple head wraps, headbands, I even had the bounce visor and everything like that. So definitely check him out. And also during this whole COVID-19 thing, definitely reach on out to him. He's making masks for the people and everything like that. So definitely check it out. And Eric, we usually just start this off with the typical how you started in paintball, brief history of your time in paintball, past teams and everything like that. And then we'll just let the conversation take us from there.
All right. I started playing paintball when I was 10 years old with my dad. He always wanted to play paintball throughout the 90s. So he never got the chance to do it. So in 2001, my 10th birthday, we went out. We went out to at the time it was Cousins Highland, which is now PSI. And ever since then, been playing paintball at least once or twice a month, I just got hit. I just got bit by the paintball bug.
Absolutely, man. And I know you and your dad. That's kind of how I met you. You and your dad had your own team. Now, was it you and him that started the team, or did you guys join a team?
All right. So before the Bezerkers, we had joined a team out in what was it, Pemberton, New Jersey. What was that?
OTP?
OTP. So we joined a team called Gods of War in OTP. So this was like our introduction to like competitive paintball. And soon after that, we just broke off with, do you remember Ambush Ali?
Yeah.
And great guy. We broke off and formed the Berserkers. And our first home field was Cousins in Staten Island. And we've been rocking ever since. We've always had an affinity to play woods ball, like way back then. Like not even just like scenario ball. Like we had a thing for like competition woods ball, and a little bit of speed ball here and there. And we've just been rocking ever since with the woods ball stuff.
Gotcha, man. So I know you played a couple of my events, the WTS at PSI. I know you guys had some decent results, honestly, coming from, I think, usually top four. I mean, I think anytime you didn't, I think maybe you lost the Master Blasters a bunch, if that was it, right?
That was it. Yeah.
That was it. That was like your Achilles heel.
Yeah, the Master Blasters was definitely our Achilles heel back then. Other than that, we were really good. Before your series, the WTS, we were playing like the TTPL. We were playing some league called the SPPL. We played a lot of those like woods ball tournaments. And yeah, we were a family team. And honestly, the Berserkers is the only team that I've played on since like 2007, 2008. And now we have the Renegades, which is kind of just an extension of the Berserkers. We broke apart after I had a really bad knee injury in 2014, I believe it was. And and I've been out of paintball for about 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years. And then when I came back, I started the company Evil Gerbil, and now we have the Renegades.
So now, how did that end up starting the whole Evil Gerbil thing? I know you were like out of the game and stuff like that. So how did that come to fruition? I knew you worked for Virtue a bit. Mm-hmm. So was that kind of the introduction to kind of getting on the manufacturing end, or?
Yeah, actually. So I worked at Virtue Paintball from 2010 2012 to 2014, around when I got injured. And while working at Virtue, I remember Sandana went out of business, and a lot of people were selling like Sandana tops and pants and all that stuff. And I wanted to make myself a Sandana headband. Like, this is way back in the day. This is like 2012, 13. So I went online, like on my off time, and I was looking for how to make a headband. And I sent myself an email because I did this on the job, like on my break time, and I sent myself an email of the instructions how to make a headband. And I never opened that email until 2017, 2018. And that's when Evil Gerbil was started. I said, you know what? I'm just going to make a bunch of headbands and see who wants them.
Yeah, perfect, man. I mean, I love this stuff. It's kind of crazy it took you that long, but I mean, it's the same thing with this podcast. I mean, he was telling me, yo, dude, let's do a podcast. Let's do it, the podcast.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just, there's that one day where it clicks, or there's one day where you're like, oh, why not? Let's just do it. Like, let's figure it out. Now, going over your company and everything like that was the mission always headbands? I mean, I know you guys are looking and doing other stuff, or I mean, is there any new stuff? You know, I know right now you're mostly doing the mask, but I mean, is there any new stuff on the horizon or anything like that?
Yeah. So right now it's all masks. I'm making all these masks here in my shop at home. Other than that, everything is shut down for the time being because the masks take up so much of my time. But yeah, it did start with headbands. And then I said, okay, I want to make a head wrap. I started making head wraps. And then since I'm coming from a background in competitive woods ball, I said I want to make a Renegade jersey. So I learned how to do all this stuff. And I do all this stuff by hand. I do it myself. So I had to go do research, read books, watch videos, buy classes on how to sew and how to make patterns. A pattern is the shape of the shirt, the shape of the pants and all that stuff. So I literally just taught myself everything, absolutely everything that, from sourcing the material to printing the material to putting my own prints on the material. I had to learn all that stuff from scratch. I have no background in any of that stuff.
Now, does anyone in your family do, or is this all something that you from the get-go or anything like that? I mean, now the other thing too, I know you kind of alluded to it before. Do you guys, it's just you making these, or right now it's just you, but sometimes you said you get some family help, or? Yeah,
so it's in the family. I have a former Bezerker, Chris, who helps me with some of the stuff on the back end. He handles like some of the emails and all that stuff. I have my girlfriend Shayna. She helps me with some stuff. And if I have something that's like really repetitive to make, like cutting the headbands, the shape of all that stuff, I'll pay my little sister to do that stuff. But for the most part, yeah, I do pretty much everything. I mean, I'm getting into having manufacturers as we're growing. I'm getting into manufacturers right here in the Bronx and Brooklyn, making some of our stuff. Like, let's say we get an order of like 20 jerseys. I'm not doing that.
But you have in the past.
I have in the past. Oh God, yeah. I've definitely made a lot of jerseys by hand.
And what teams? I know there's a lot of people have used your stuff now. What was like your biggest like holy shit moment? Like, this dude's wearing my stuff, or like did you just see it in a picture? Like, I know Cat Factory had your stuff, or is it something where you got messaged from somebody and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa,
geez, I can say before he says yours, I thought it was pretty cool when I saw LJ Parrish rocking your headband. I was like, yo, that's pretty dope.
That is dope. Like, I literally get tingles. I get like goosebumps every time I see anybody wearing any of my stuff. Like, I go to a field, like a random field on a random weekend, and somebody's like wearing a bounce visor or a headband. I get super excited. I love it. But that moment for me would have to go way back to like when we first started making the jerseys. Special Robinson. Yeah.
Yeah.
He personally hit me up and said, "Yo, I need 3 Tree Bark jerseys," and we made it happen. You know, that was the right then and there. I was like, "Holy shit!"
That was and that was at my event, right?
Yeah. That was at the WTS.
Because I know he had Spech had one. I believe Frank the Tank Connell had one,
Frank
and
Connell.
I think maybe Vegas had one, right?
It might have been. But that was super exciting. That was like the first time it was like, oh, I might be doing something like worth my time.
Right. That was like the aha moment. Like it's not just me making headbands for some friends and stuff like that. Like this is taking off. Like people are seeing it, you know. So that's awesome, dude. I mean,
yeah.
You never would have known. You know what I mean? You don't know until you try something. So it's like
exactly. I mean, I started not knowing how to even turn on the freaking sewing machine.
But no, it's cool because it's like us with the podcast. Now we're starting to get some guests, and it's like now all of a sudden even I'm like, wow, dude, this dude's willing to talk to us. That's so freaking cool.
I'm not a celebrity. I will never be a celebrity, man. I am grateful for any and everybody who supports Evil Gerbil. I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up, it was kind of rough growing up. So like, anytime like anything positive happens, I'm just really excited, just really happy about it.
Yeah, that's me too. I'm too humble to really be famous. I'm always like, oh, thank you.
Yeah. Like,
but no, that's why we,
like,
that's why we wanted to have you on because I love your stuff, man. That's why I showed your headband. I love like me and my brother will always rock your headbands. I get pissed when I go into an event that there's no pictures of my head because no one can see my dope headband.
You need to stop wearing your goggles back or it's on the stage. That's what it is, bro. I don't know who be wearing our goggles backwards on stage. I know you got that second place, but take the goggles off and show the headband.
Long and short of that was because Phil, Rosie, and he took like 4 other guys. So we went up to the podium, it was like 3 guys. So they're like, wear all the sponsor stuff you can. If you got sponsor stuff, wear it. I'm like, all right. I'm like, yeah, give me my goggles. Fuck it.
Dude, you hold the goggles. I'll teach you, man. There's a lot we need to teach you.
I think I had to hold the banner. I don't know.
At least Eric's got you looking fly now, though, bro. Back in the day, you had all that dye tactical stuff.
Oh, God.
It's funny we were talking about that stuff. Like I said, I remember when Frank and Special all them got your stuff, and I'm walking around and I'm like, oh, thank God I'm playing in the rookie division. Fuck this shit. These guys are gonna murder me.
Dude, you should have been playing in that upper division anyway, man. I mean, when Eric played, there was no rookie division. Eric just fucking played. And one time, actually, we go off on a little story here, is they played, so it was like the top 4 was like Master Blasters Red, Master Blasters Purple, or something like that. And it was like Bezerkers A and Bezerkers Bravo and Alpha they used to use, I think, right?
Yeah.
So they asked, they're like, yo, could we just do a 10-on-10? Winner takes first and second? And I said, you could do it. I was like, I don't think that's the smartest decision. I was like, because I think what could happen is you could
That's the best idea I've ever heard. What are you talking about?
What?
That's the best idea I've ever heard. That's amazing.
Nah, bro, because this is why. There was no way on Rabbit Run 10 Master Blaster dudes. And first of all, they got the top side.
They had the high ground, yeah.
They got the high ground. There was no way where the Bezerkers, like maybe a 5-on-5, they could have beat one of the teams and then gotten top 2. But it was winner takes both first and second. And it was like the old dude line and the kid line. And they literally like came flying down the mountain. And just it was like over so fast. I was cool with it because I was like, all right, less games. Got to go home a little bit earlier. But you know what I mean? But that's also why, like, I always liked their team. And when he came back, I was like, dude, come to the events. I was like, your product's perfect for like the environment. Woods ball stuff, Woods ball headband, Woods ball, stuff. I mean, you even see it in the pros, they'll still wear it. But I mean, I don't know. That was like one of my biggest memories. And I was like, you want to play 10-on-10?
And we had no idea what we getting ourselves into at all.
Yeah, but it was fun shit.
Like they knew what they were doing, like right off the bat, because I believe they were playing like UWL and all that stuff at the time. So they already had a game plan, and we were just like, all right, let's put our veterans and our rookies together and just do a 10-man, and we got slaughtered. We got slaughtered.
Yeah, the biggest thing is that field on Rabbit Run. Those dudes have been playing for 20 years, 25 years.
Mhm.
As long as they've been playing paintball, they probably played 1,000 games on that field. So
Yeah. And I remember that field at PSI, which was the old Cousins. That was the first place I ever played paintball. So upon like first arriving there for the first time in a long time, I remember just looking down at that field down there, where there used to have the hyper pipes and all that stuff and the air ball.
right.
And
Well, the hyper pipes are still there.
well, it's a little different now.
It's a
But,
little
like,
overgrown.
Yeah, yeah. So closer to the hill was I remember it was airball. I believe it was airball or something like that. And I remember it was my first time playing paintball, and I believe it was GZ down there. And I remember I think they were shooting angels at the time. I remember the angels going off. You know, everybody having practice and shooting like whatever the hell balls per second. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to play that. And I just took to woods ball ever since. You know.
So have you ever played airball? I know you played airball. Have you ever competed on some tournaments or ever airball or?
Yeah, I mean, I played some what was the one out in Cousins? CTS.
CTS.
Yeah.
We did NEPL. We did the playground series.
Okay, PGPL.
Yeah, PGPL, and I've played plenty of speedball. That's actually where all my injuries have happened too. But that's why
That's why you don't play it.
That's why I don't play it.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I would still play it, but I get it really serious, like with airball, and I usually wind up hurting myself. So I try to limit my play.
I mean, so with that being said, I know you've always had some lingering injuries and everything like that. And is it mostly through paintball, or I mean, is that something that you've been dealing with your whole life? Through playing other sports or anything like that? I mean,
No.
Were you athletic as a kid playing sports, or?
So I grew up. I was always involved in sports because of my environment. My environment growing up, my parents always made sure that I had something to do. So I did martial arts my whole childhood, from like age of 6 to like high school. I did judo, jiu-jitsu, and taekwondo and kickboxing. So yeah, so I did all that. So I was always athletic. I played football, played baseball, and paintball, and I was always working out. So I was always athletic. I was always agile. I was always moving around. Just for some reason, paintball just always seemed to take me out.
Yeah, it's weird because, like you said, you played all those sports, and it's paintball, where usually paintball's a little bit more on like that. That doesn't happen. You don't see that too often.
Yeah, you know what the problem is? I'm very, very competitive. I'm really hard on myself, and I give 150% in anything. If I'm snapping, if I'm doing snap shooting drills in my backyard, I'm giving it 150%. If we're at practice, I'm giving it 150%. Unfortunately, the first time I hurt my knee, it was that long lived, and it was snowing. We weren't expecting any snow, and I had left my cleats home. And yeah, we had a tournament the following week, and I just said, screw it. Like I'm practicing. And very first point, I just tore my MCL. Yeah, so that's just being like headstrong. Like, yeah, no, we got to practice, and always feeling like I have to get better. I have to just, no matter what, just keep going. And I'm the same way with this company. Like I've been working 20-hour days for the past like week or so just to get these masks out. And that's just my nature. I'm a competitor. I always want to be better. I always, I keep working, like no matter what, like, and nothing stops me, so.
What was the turnaround like on that injury? How long were you out for? Was it like months, or were you able to get it done in like 3 years? Yeah, I knew it was going to be a long time. Damn.
Yeah, 3 years. Not completely. It was a level 2 tear on my MCL. And I mean, honestly, I was walking in about 2-3 weeks. I was back in the gym in about 2 or 3 weeks. It just didn't feel right until 2 or 3 years later. Same thing with my current injury. I tore my meniscus last year, and
Yeah.
I don't like surgery. I had shoulder surgery was the only one that wasn't paintball related, but we'll get back to that. Last year's meniscus tear was on the paintball field, speedball field, and I was very heavy. I was just out of shape, and I wasn't ready. And I, of course, played as if I was, back in the day. I was like, playing weight from 18 years old, and that wasn't the case.
Yeah. When they go 10 seconds, all that stuff goes out the window, and you just do what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. Once that whistle blows, you just go. I just go 150%, and I tore my meniscus, and it's getting better now. Like I'll be able to play this year, but that was another one. Fucked up injury.
Now, what events? I mean, with all this COVID stuff behind us, what events did you plan on playing, or do you plan on playing, or do you plan attending? Because I know from talks with you before, you were looking to step back on a vendor wise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kind of go into that for us, kind of where you see Evil Gerbil even going in the future or anything like that.
Yeah. So this year, we had planned to step back from vending, step back from doing events and all that stuff to focus on getting into all the stores and all that. Yeah, all the retailers, around the country, around the world. So I had to just put all my attention to that, because I'm doing it almost by myself. I have like 2 other people helping me, but it's all on my own. It's all on me. So I had to focus on that, on manufacturing and all that stuff. So I just had to take a back seat. But I planned on playing the ICC, whatever local woods board tournaments in the Northeast. I planned on playing. Other than that, I was really gonna just take a step back for just this year, just to focus on getting Evil Gerbil into all the stores. So you don't have to order everything on the website. You can go to the store and you see something you like from Evil Gerbil, you can just pick it up there.
Now, are there any stores that have signed on board already, or is that something that's also taken a backseat because of the mask making? Or
there are a lot of stores that hit me up. That's what really gave me this idea. I was like, all right, let me just really focus on this, because a lot of stores around the world, Malaysia, Germany, France, Cousins, and a lot of local paintball stores and fields have shown interest. They have sent me emails. They have sent me inboxes, and messages and all that stuff saying, hey, we want to carry your stuff. So I figured I'd focus on that for now.
Awesome. That's a good idea to pivot and everything like that, especially with what's going on and everything like that. You want to make sure that you're in stores, and I hope all these stores end up, everybody gets out of this alive and everything like that. But kind of going back to what you were saying, now ICC, you were looking to play the 5-man, and is that with your Renegade guys, or?
Yeah, so we were planning on playing the ICC. I was planning on playing the ICC with my new team, the Renegades. Still looking to do it. Hopefully that'll happen. Other than that, not much.
Gotcha. Now, are you going to have a booth there as well? I know you said you're stepping back on the booths, but I mean,
yeah.
That could be maybe the one event that you were going to do a booth.
Yeah, that was going to be the one and only event that we were going to have a booth this year.
Yeah, because I think we're looking to probably do. He's like, dude, I'm going to be playing and this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, dude, let's just get. I'm like, maybe we just put it right next to Eric's. We get like 2 blow-up couches, like a little some cooler with some beers, and whoever's walking by, because there's going to be so many pros and so many. You're going to have the who's there. So it's like, dude, you just have Frank, come sit down for 30 minutes. And boom, we just record it right there on the spot. Next one. I'm like, man, like.
Yeah, exactly. I'm down for that.
Yeah, so I think I'm like, dude, we'll have it right next to his. I mean, I know last year I kind of like, am I the only person to ever rip one of the headbands with my Hulk strength, bro? Like, what happened?
I still have that headband, and I tried to figure out how'd you do that?
Dude, I think it's this big head. When I went like this, it like teared, and I was playing one of the games with CEP, man, and it was like I had this little piece dangling. And like my OCD kind of thing. I'm not super OCD, but I was like kind of like I saw it like flicking it. I was like, oh, I came out. I was like, tell him to bill me, PayPal me. I'm like, I need a new headband because the team wasn't doing good too. So I kind of was like, maybe a new headband. And I came up to him. I was like, I got a new headband, guys. We're gonna be good. I'm like, it's still an Evil Gerbil. We'll do all right. I think we tied for the 6th game in a row, or however we did on that one. But
Dude, how did you do that? I have 5 of these, I think. None of them are ripped.
I think I've had 7 or 8, or maybe I've just paid for 7 or 8 of them.
And you know what's crazy? That was the heaviest denim that I have in the shop. I don't know how you managed to do that.
Dude, I mean,
strong like bull.
Because I came back and he was like, "What'd you do?" I was like, it's just like my thing. I'm like, all right, it's a new thing I've been doing. I'm like, all right, like let's not cry about it. Like we'll just get a new one, or we'll just figure it out and do it later. Like let Eric try to handle it or whatever. But
yeah, we just replaced it.
We just replaced it, and I got one now, and then I got another one, a headband.
What you should have. Oh no!
All right, so we'll get Eric back here in a minute.
Eric's back right here. Oh wait, no. Okay, Eric's back.
Oh, okay, Eric's back, man.
What happened?
He kicked. I don't know what he did. He clicked something off for a minute or something, but this is what we roll with over here. So kind of shooting off the hip here too. I mean, you got like a favorite paintball moment? Like is it something with you and your dad? I know you said and this might be a multiple part thing, but I know you said you played the TAC 10 league in the past too. I'd like your experience with that, but just give us a great paintball moment and maybe your experience with that TTPL, something I always wanted to play but never got to.
All right, let's talk about the TTPL. The TTPL was run by Herc back in the day, and that was a great tournament. It was very interesting. It was very different. Basically, the TTPL was called the TAC 10 Paintball League. It was a scenario tournament, we could say, where there were rocket launchers and there was like a little mini a little house.
A SWAT house.
Yeah, like a SWAT house. That was always interesting. It was riot shields and all that stuff. And, this was way back in like 2009, I believe. 2009, 2008. And Bezerkers, we played that as a young team. We had just started around that time. Actually, that was like a year or two after breaking off from Gods of War from OTP, and nothing too crazy, nothing too stand out during that time. Nothing that stands out. And it was
10-man, right? It was like 10-man.
Yeah.
Like if you got shot in your gun, and correct me if I'm wrong, I just remember like if you got shot in your gun, they put a piece of tape on it.
Yeah. So if you got shot in your gun, like everybody had a role. So like there was like a technician, there was a medic, there was a rocket man, there was like stuff like that.
Now, what role did you use? Like, did you have a special role, or were you just like infantry or?
Yeah, I was infantry. I was a gunfighter. I was just a gunfighter. Like I don't want to carry around a rocket. I don't want to carry a shield. Don't run to me. If you need your gun fix, like no, I'm a fighter. But so they had all thoothose roles. It was fun. It was interesting. Wasn't my thing 100%. Like me, I just like how it is now. How Woods Ball tournaments are now. Just capture the flag or whatever. But that was fun. My best paintball moments had to be in big games, honestly. I enjoyed big games. Skirmish. Skirmish was really good.
Say, what's your favorite big game you played?
Yeah, so Skirmish was really good. Skirmish, Ion, Invasion of Normandy, like camping out and all that stuff with my dad. Never have camped a day in my life. You know what I'm saying? So doing all that.
Be camping in what'd you say, Brooklyn? You're from originally?
No, I'm from the Bronx.
Bronx. Okay, so no camping in the Bronx.
There's no camping in the Bronx. No, that's dangerous. In all aspects, you catch one of those rats in your tent. That'd be pretty interesting.
I know, dude. I was reading this thing, not to get too outside from paintball, but like how the rats are going crazy right now in New York City because no one's throwing out like the garbage. And they're like eating each other, and it's like little rat gang wars. It's a wild time right now.
I believe it 100%.
Keep me out right there, dude.
Yeah, I believe it 100%. I mean, I've seen it without COVID-19.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying because there's no garbage. They're eating each other, and it's like total anarchy in like the Rat Kingdom. But
I can't, man. I'm not there anymore.
yeah, right.
So,
But,
kind of continuing that. So it was more so the camping and the camaraderie and everything like that. I mean, when you got there, I know you said you hadn't really camped before. So, like, would you guys first time buying a tent and sleeping in it, whatever? You know what I mean? It was a whole new experience.
Yeah, that was a whole new experience for me. Honestly, that was probably the most. That's probably what I'll remember the most of all the years I've been playing paintball is the big games, camping out, just shooting hundreds of dollars worth of paint, and just being out there and shooting with 1,000+ people. You know.
no, I love the scenarios too, and I love the camping, and I love all that stuff. That's why I like doing that stuff for sure.
Yeah, it's fun. It's different, especially for guys like me who never been through, done that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I mean, I know you said you've got ICC or anything like that. And I know mostly, you're vendoring and everything like that. I know you're not doing a lot of that now. I've been sticking to, the resurgence of this mechanical paintball. Now, do you guys plan do you plan personally to go to any big games, or do you guys ever look to go bring a booth to a big game? So, two parts there, you personally, and then bringing the company to a big game.
We have been looking into going back to Ion with a booth instead of playing, or a booth and playing. But I've been thinking about it, about getting into the boothing at the big games and stuff like that. Yeah, I haven't played any big games in a really long time. I think the last big game I played was with Virtue at Oklahoma D-Day. That's the last big game I played.
So you've played Oklahoma D-Day. How was that? I've always wanted to go out there.
It's not a big, but it's fun. It's a big giant hill. A lot of they have nice woods out there, and it's definitely different. It's worth checking out. It's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, the Punisher guys are trying to get me to go to Ion this year. I might actually have to go.
Yeah, I do Ion again. I'd happily do Ion. Like I do Ion. It's hot.
Pricey.
It's expensive.
Bro, it's pricey, and the paint they give you is like -5-star. It's like freaking the reject paint or whatever, and they're gonna charge you. I went one time, and I mean, I went one time, and I'm cool with that. You know what I'm trying to say? But I don't know, man. I was gonna go a couple years back. I even put like $1,000 down for like 10 registrations and whatever it was. Like I put down some money, and then because I was gonna go
not going, right?
Yeah, man. I put down money because someone told me like, "Yo, it's gonna be hard to get in," and then they were like, "Oh, I already got it covered," and I'm like, "What?" Like, yeah, but I don't got a ticket for you, and I was like, I just bought a ticket for you though. And I was like, forget this. Called the lady up. I was like, cancel this. She's like, because they were going to get the 10 people registration automatically anyway. Because what they got a good system there too. They'll be like, Allied's closed, so German now can register, and then whatever. So they'll play everybody that way. But I don't know, man. I'm not. If you want to pay me, I'll go to a freaking Ion. I'm not going to Ion.
That's the other thing. Skirmish has like a really good system. Like they have good customer service. They have good people there. I mean,
yeah,
like
I had no problem with that. I just had a problem, like I said, with like pricing versus the paint versus the values. The value's not there for me yet, man. It's just the value and the price has to come. It's got to equal out a little bit more. You know what I mean?
It's about the experience to me.
Yeah, I agree. You know? It's not. But like I said, dude, it's not that. Like I'll pay another $10 a case to play at High Velocity Outdoor than to play at Cousins Outdoor because I'm playing on Jeeps and helicopters versus barrels and trash cans. Like I would do that. Skirmish isn't. It's too much of a gap for me right now.
Got to be maybe just because I that go during the half price paint days.
There you go.
You go to Skirmish on the half price paint days.
I don't. You befriend those people.
Okay, so this is what happened. You go there, and they say it's $50 a case plus the taxes and fees, which is really $65 a case. So you really don't fucking save anything, bro. When you could just bulk buy there with the friends for $65. But dude, I'll tell you, there's nobody there. You could order 1,000 cases, and they're gonna still charge you $65.
I remember the days when every paintball field was like $100 to $120 a case.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm getting too whatever spoil or whatever, but
I'm pretty sure you remember those days too.
Dude, with that being said, though, also is the paint was also a lot better back then too.
Yes.
The paint was definitely better back then, because I was listening to something the other day where they're like, dude, what do you think happened where paint used to be $65, $80, $100 a case, and now it's 45, whatever? He's like, and inflation. So inflation went up and paint prices are coming down. What happened? The paint's got to get worse.
Yeah, absolutely true.
The paint has to get worse. You know what I mean? So,
it makes sense. They're shooting more volume. Now you got 5 dudes run out with 12 pods on their back. It's different.
I was shooting a spider back then.
Yeah, but how many pods you carrying?
Yeah, exactly. 6, 5.
Was that your first gun, a spider?
Spider E99 Avant. That was my first gun. And then it was like 2 Titmans, like a Titman A5 and a 98 custom.
Did you have a response trigger, or?
I had that pneumatic powered automatic
with like the silver little pin and whatever?
Yeah.
I had one of those. I had the response trigger, and then I had a Spider E99, but I think my brother had it, because like I had my first gun was a Titman, then it was a DM4, then it was like a Lux, and then like I borrowed a gun for like 3 years, and now I have no gun. I had an EMAC, but whatever. You know what I mean? I know enough people with stuff where I can get something, but I had an E99. I remember that, because I remember having a spider parts bin, and I think I could have built like 3 spiders, but I just like had a bin because I never used. We would give it to my friend when we would like play in the backyard behind our house in the sump, but I ended up giving that to Eugene because he owns a field. One day I was like, dude, take this out of I'm like, I don't need this. I'm like, I don't even want anything for it. I'm like, freaking here's a box of spider parts. Do what you want with it.
Yeah, everybody had that same box of spider parts. Just that,
like
and
3 frames, mix match grips.
Yeah, remember the rocking trigger frame?
Dude, that was the Electra or something like that.
No, I had mine on my E99.
Oh, all right.
Like, it had like 2 triggers, one on the bottom, one on the top. So
you like 3-finger that thing.
Yeah. Those were interesting. I used to practice all day in school, just practice my trigger finger. Yeah, all day. But you don't have to do that anymore. With the ramping, like you can do that with 1 finger.
Yeah,
and that's what makes it I think that's what makes it a lot different these days.
I think it's a lot easier. I think it's like dumbing it down. I know Carl always says that on his podcast, Carl Markowski. It's like, that's a skill. So like, I do think that pro should be like, dude, as fast as you can pull the trigger and everything like
semi.
That.
Yeah, uncapped semi.
But the problem is the boards are always going to be able to allow a shot, and it's always going to be hard to figure it out. But that's why like they use ramping, because dude, I mean, Virtue was the #1 person that did that. They had the cheater board, bro.
Yeah.
I remember like my boy at school. This is when I was shooting a Titman. I remember this kid, Steve Addy, worked at Virtue, and I remember him being like, "Bro, he's like, yo, get an ion board. I got this board," and it'd be basically like 1, 2, dump a hopper.
Yeah,
or it's like even back in the day, like Doyle used to tell me, it would be like. He had it, and he used it in one of my events, and he told me it afterwards. He had a carnivore where it would be like whatever, 5.5, whatever. But like if you held the power button as you were shooting it, it would fucking do it. So like if he handed it to you, it'd be like pink, 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 pink. And you'd be like, all right, whatever. But if you held the power button, it'd be like
yeah, that was definitely Virtue with the cheater boards.
Yeah, dude. That's what that's all Virtue was when it was like back in the day. That's all I remember. Like none of this masks and everything like that they have now. It was like all they had was cheater boards and like ion power buttons.
Yep.
That's all. Oh, actually, I did have an ion because I had that Virtue power button. Because if you had to press the ion, it would be like super hard to press the button.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
you'd have to
Virtue board.
Yeah, you have to press that thing with like an Allen key or something.
Yeah. Upgrade your engine was like their whole thing or whatever. Like putting a freaking Ferrari engine in your Honda Civic was like their thing. You know what I mean?
Yep, I remember. I definitely remember.
Oh man, it's too funny. That's what I love about me being like, I got into paintball so much later. So when we have like the first gun conversation, I'm like, yeah, my first gun was an E-Tech 3, copper valve. First gun I ever used.
That's still new to me.
Yeah, it was. I was like, look at this thing.
Super new, dude.
Yeah, that just came out.
Yeah, it did. My brother just went out and bought 2 of them.
So when you were with Virtue, were you mainly? Because I worked at Virtue for a bit, but I was mainly assemble the spire, fucking change the color kits out.
At Virtue, I came in as a packager. I was basically doing the same thing you were doing, just putting things in packages all day. And then I moved up to a tech. So I'd fix ion boards. I'd fix. I'd be soldering and stuff like that. I'd fix all the spires that needed fixing, and that was a lot.
So you were there kind of when the Spire first came out.
Yeah, I was there when the Spire first came out, and they had a lot of issues, and I became like a wizard at fixing those damn things.
And that's why you became a tech.
That's why I became a tech. And so then I became like a traveling tech or a traveling ambassador for the company, I guess. So I'd go to all the events. So that's a lot. That's where all of my traveling experience has come from. So I've been to all the PSPs, all the MPPLs, and all that stuff, just because of Virtue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I was like, when you said D-Day and stuff like that, I'm like, I had no idea. You freaking learn something every day. I felt like I knew most of your stuff, like, you know what I mean? But no,
Yeah.
that's sick. So you were basically a tech, and you would go to all the events and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, I mean, was there anything that you couldn't repair? Like who messed? I don't know if you want to throw anybody under the bus, but there was something where you were just like, dude, like my headband? Was there a my headband moment? Like, dude, how the F did you do this? I'm sure multiple times, because I think that's paintball. I think that's like inherently like, I don't know. I have stuff with my guns and shit where I'm just like,
this is a good
I don't know
one.
what the fuck I did. I handed it to Dave Rotunda. I'm like, dude, I don't know.
That's a good one, because I would like to say that the pros are the worst, the absolute worst with their gear. I've had guys come into the booth and their whole board were broken off of the Spire, and they're like, what's wrong with it? I'm like, well, your board is spinning around in your Spire. Like, what do you mean, what's wrong with it? We've had guys, I was fixing guns at some point. Like, if I had a Virtue board in it, like I'd have to be fixing the guns, like things that had nothing to do with the board. And some of these guys would come in and like their bolts were just completely broken. Like, there's some wild stuff. Like, there would be paint in places that they shouldn't be. I've seen some crazy things working at at Virtue as a tech.
Yeah, I believe it, because I gave my shocker to Russell, the shocker technician.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I don't really know what's wrong with it. It's been acting kind of funny since ICC, where I got like lit up this one time. He's like, yeah, all right, I'll take a look at it. And then I go back later. He's like, yeah, no, what's wrong with it? And he like took apart like the frame, and literally it looked like someone dumped like a bucket of paint in there. I was like, oh my God. I was like, dude, I didn't even know. How'd you get in there? He's like, yeah, I had to take this off and take this off and take this off. I was like, he's like, yeah, dude, it's not
That's
really
why
your
I buy a
fault.
paintball gun, so other people can fucking clean it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people bring stuff in, and I'm just like, well, there's your problem there. It's full of paint. There's more paint inside this gun than is probably on your pack.
Yeah, dude, hook up the dude with a drink next time you bring a fucking gun like that, you know? Man, go a couple dollars in the tip jar or something, you know?
And that trailer, that Virtue trailer was so hot back in the day. It was literally just so hot inside. And then I'd be working on spires and guns and all that stuff, like sun up to sundown in like Florida World Cup weather. It was an experience. It was an experience. I mean, I feel like there were days where I lost like just 10 pounds, like right then and there.
Now, is that something you would want to maybe do again, or is
Oh,
it
yeah.
just too much? Is it too much? I'm saying versus like going to a World Cup and being a vendor or anything like that, or is it something where I know they charge an arm and a leg to go do that? Is that something that really doesn't even interest you? Because I know you're mainly focusing on the woods ball stuff.
In the future, I've been maybe I'll try to get to some NXLs and all that stuff. But like you said, right now they're charging an arm and a leg for for vending space. So I'm trying to gauge, is it worth it or not? ICC definitely worth it. Big games definitely worth it. Even the small local tournaments are worth it because people like Evil Gerbil, especially around here in the Northeast. So all those events are definitely worth it. Now NXL, I'd have to see. I would love to do it.
Yeah, I hope your stuff catches on outside because up here we love it. Like, I don't know why. I don't know how you couldn't. You come in with the fire patterns all the time.
Thank you.
Now, what I know you said it's doing well here, and I kind of see it everywhere. I mean, where have you shipped this stuff to? Like, I mean, where's when you get that order and you're like, oh, Germany, freaking Paris, or whatever. So, like, what are some of? I mean, have you? I'm sure you have. I think I've seen stuff,
shipped
but
to Africa. That's it.
You sent something to Africa?
No, I haven't. That's it.
Oh,
Everywhere
that's
else.
the only place you haven't.
Yeah. Everywhere
Okay.
else. Australia, China, Japan, Korea, all over Europe. It's really big in South America as well. And it's really big here.
Awesome.
I'm not really big, but we've done quite a few orders in pretty much all these countries.
That's so
So
sick.
what you got to do is, if you're listening to this and you're from Africa, hit the dude up. Be the first. be the distributor for Africa.
Yeah, South Africa, something.
South Africa. You know what I mean? That's where we're going next. South Africa. So if you're in South Africa, hit up Eric. Hit up Evil Gerbil PB. Find him on Facebook, and definitely get your stuff out to Africa. You could be the exclusive Evil Gerbil distributor in South Africa. That'd be sick, man. That's awesome. No, I knew you were sending it out. I didn't know it was like everywhere, but I was like, oh, okay, Africa. No, everywhere but Africa, bro. Get on the stick here.
And Antarctica.
And Antarctica. We'll get a penguin with one of these days.
There we go.
We'll fly it out when we get the Evil Gerbil, helicopter and everything like that. So we'll be dropping them down, getting on that Antarctic stuff. So
actually, I would say I want to say there are more dealership inquiries coming from outside the country than actually in America. Like Malaysia, the stores out there are constantly hitting me up. They're really big into the bounce visors out there.
Okay.
France, a few stores. Germany, a couple of guys hitting me up. A couple of stores hitting me up. What's the other one? Europe. A lot of Europe.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
Because I'm sure only a few people have it there, and if they can be the provider, like I know with Eclipse, like Eclipse has it's like some Denmark site has all their old inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want that old inventory, the old boards or anything like that, you have to go there. So I think it would be advantageous to be like, dude, you can only get this in Denmark from my store.
Yeah.
You have a box, 2 boxes of them in a warehouse somewhere, and be like, so you're not waiting for it to come overseas. You got it. They got it, and they could distribute it and be that guy for you there. I think that'd be very advantageous for any company or anything like that over there, because I know that's kind of how similar partnerships work with like MacDev in Australia and here. You know what I mean? I know there's that guy Jerry from the guy that had the car crash.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's like the dealer for over here, or even with South American companies and stuff like that. So
yep,
it's sick, dude.
But yeah, we're a work in progress. We've got big plans. We've just started. And sky's the limit. Sky's the limit for Evil Gerbil, and yeah, I'm just looking. I'm hoping to really grow in the next few. After this is all over, and just take over.
Yeah, man. So how many masks a day are you turning out in your little shop?
Oh, the COVID-19 mask. At the current rate, I'm making 20 a day. So the reason it's that way is because of how intricate they are. They have the long ties. They have the double layer cotton and those two pockets.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll cut like 100 or 200 at a time, right? And I'll just spend the entire week just making masks. And as soon as I get anywhere between 75 to 100, I'll do a drop.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, friends and family and all that stuff have to, get taken care of. So I have to put stuff aside. We're doing the donations. So basically anybody who can prove that they're an essential worker, shoot me an email, and we'll take care of you.
That's what's up.
So all my effort and energy is going towards that right now, just helping everybody and getting them sold as well as getting them donated.
So that's awesome.
How many do you donate per sale?
We don't do it per sale. It's basically if I make 100, I'll take 25 out to the side, or I'll take 30, or whatever I can. It's not like we're not manufacturing these. I'm sitting in this room making them.
Right.
So whatever I can get out is what I get out. I split the set that I make and do it, and distribute it that way.
No,
so
man.
This week,
at the end of the day, it's doing what you can. You know what I mean? It's not, again, you need to eat. You need to make sure, your family and everyone's taken care of and everything like that. And people got to also realize, and I'm not more end on the back end stuff, but I know I'm sure, material costs probably gone up and other stuff like that. So, because I know my buddy was doing the hand sanitizer stuff, and he's like, yeah, a barrel of ethanol that used to cost me $40 a barrel is now $80 a barrel and stuff like that. So people got to realize, what you're getting. And like you said, it's a high quality product. It's not something that's mass produced. You got the couple different layers, and anybody can always, reach out and look to what you posted on what's the right way, man. Just because you could take, a tablecloth and do it yourself or anything like that, if you want it's like with anything, man. If you want a high quality product, you're gonna have to shell out for it. But at the end of the day, instead of having two flimsy masks or anything like that, this is something that you can have, for the rest of your life or anything like this. This could be a one and done mask. Exactly. Maybe you want to match and have different ones and whatever. But I mean, to me, it seems like the way it's constructed and everything like that. I know I ordered one. And that's why I ordered it, because it's a well done mask. I know there's other providers making them and stuff like that. No disrespect, but it's like, you need to know what you're ordering. You know, if you're ordering a mask or you're ordering a shield or you're ordering a dust cover or whatever, HK is doing or whatever. But kind of lost where I was going with that. But, a high quality product, pay for it. And the dude's going to donate what he can. But, he's got to take care of home first. And if you can take care of your home, if you can't take care of your home, you're not going to be able to help other people. And the best way is you got to handle your own stuff first. And then the more you can help, the better you do, the more people you help, I'm sure. So
exactly. Yeah. So basically I'm selling them in order to buy more material to donate.
Yeah.
And pay my sister and all that stuff, people who are here helping me manufacture.
Yeah, right. I just definitely wanted to bring that up before we ended here, because I know you switched over to making the mask, and I know you're trying to help and do your part, and people need to know. Yeah, that's really great.
So, I mean, Eric, anybody else you want to kind of shout out, anybody you want to give thanks to or anything like that, definitely plug away your site, plug away your Instagram, plug away anywhere people can reach you, or anything you want to even say about paintball, about the company, about the sport.
Well, first, shout out to you guys. Honestly, I love what you guys are doing here at Overshot. It's keeping me entertained.
Awesome.
It's definitely keeping me entertained because I'm working. I'm sitting, in my room all day and working, and you guys are doing a great job. Constantly putting out content and making my life a little bit easier. We're
trying, man. We're trying.
Making me laugh and all that. Yeah, it's funny. It's definitely funny. It's Definitely helping me out. I want to shout out to my boy Chris Mercado. He's helping me out with this stuff. Mike Chalmers. These are old Berserkers or ex-Berserkers and new Renegades. Shout out to those guys. They helping me out with this stuff. And my girlfriend and everybody that's helping, that's helping out with this with the COVID-19 situation. Shout out to all the nurses. Shout out to all the garbage men. Shout out to the policemen. Shout out to all you guys that are putting your lives on the line for us to stay home and be safe. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. 100%.
Yeah, and we here at Evil Gerbil are doing our part to help you guys out. If you guys are essential workers, you guys are first responders, shoot us an email. We have masks for you. It's the very least I can do. It's the very least we can do. And that's it.
Man.
Perfect,
Yeah,
man.
that's
So
so
where
glad
can these people email you at? The first responders, or even I know you're not taking when this stuff dies down, where you're going to take orders, and where they can follow all the work you do.
All right. So our email address is evilgerbilpb@gmail.com. So if you need PPE, hit us up there. Our Instagram is Evil Gerbil PB. Our Facebook is Evil Gerbil Paintball.
Perfect, guys. So definitely take a look below. Use code Overshot. Once the paintball stuff gets rocking and rolling, anybody that needs a face mask, definitely reach out. Definitely want to thank again Eric for coming on here. Want to thank Dizana Sports as well for sponsoring this episode. Just got my new t-shirt here. I know they're doing some new socks and stuff like that. Super comfortable. Never thought about doing socks. And definitely reach out to them for their SF joggers. Use code Overshot for 10% off. Definitely remember to rate, subscribe, review, tell your friends, share the paintball message. All paintball content is good content, and hopefully everybody stays safe during this COVID stuff. If you need anything or you ever want to reach out to us, our email is contact@overshotpaintballpodcast.com. You can reach us on Facebook, Overshot a Paintball Podcast. You can reach us on Instagram, Overshot a Paintball Podcast. Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anything that you can think of for your podcast needs, we'll definitely be there for you. Thanks again, guys.